an African, I'm a West Indian, I'm a Trinbagonian. Yes, all these things are true. But I'm a working man, a Calypsonian, I'm your fellow human. Yes, I am one of you. But every time I ask you to choose your people, you start using color and class one time. But as a man who knows how it is to struggle, let me tell you how I choose mine. Like if a man could sell on the highway all day, just to try and live honestly, and would break his back in a quarry for small pay. Anytime he wants, he can walk with me. But if you call yourself a top lawyer, but go to court and lie to try to save a drug pusher, if Dolce the money make you fat while your conscience grows small, you're a leech and you're not my people at all, at all, at all. So rise up, my people, let the world know you are alive. Let them see that despite all struggle, my people are bound to survive.
Good evening and welcome to Calypso Showcase. Good evening. My People, the song sung by Wayne Hade, the Watchman, gives you the cue for tonight's guest. In fact, it is the Watchman. We welcome him back to Trinidad. He's been studying abroad, and it's been since 1991 that we looked at your Calypso career and Calypso Showcase, and I think it's time for an update. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think everybody wants to know what's the deal on this studies that you're doing, how you're back in Trinidad, what's the reason? Perhaps you should fill us in.
Well, I applied to do a master's degree at John Jay College in New York. And I used my accumulated vacation leave to complete one semester. And despite what some people thought, I paid my own money, Calypso money. And what money I didn't have, I borrowed from the bank. I sold my motor car in order to make the money to go away and study using my vacation leave from the service. And I have completed one semester. I'm almost halfway through the master's program. I have, well, a 3.98 GPA. I'm doing very well, and that is easier than what I'm doing here.
What exactly are you studying?
I'm doing a master's degree in protection management, which is basically how to protect people and assets from loss, be it from crime, fire, disaster, how to do executive protection, surveillance, anything with respect to security of people and property.
And what did your first semester comprise of?
Well, I did disaster planning, investigative techniques, security applications, theory and design of security systems, and security and safety in the built environment. And all these things comprise
a 3.98 grade point average sounds like a lot of A's.
Well, actually, I got 3 A's and 2 A minuses in the 5 courses.
Not bad at all. You keep the flag flying.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Carnival and what you've done since Carnival. What date did you leave to go to the United States?
I left on the 14th of February. In fact, I had gone for 2 days earlier in order to register. You must register in person. So I registered at the college on, I think, the 29th of January. Spent 2 nights in the cold. Flew
ran
back
out
down.
and ran back.
Yes. And then right after Carnival was over, I went to NCC and told them I need my check.
Yeah, but you needed to use it.
Yes, and I flew out then.
During your stay in New York, have you had any time to get involved in any Calypso work at all?
Not really. I was trying to concentrate on doing what I came there to do. I was supposed to do an interview on cable soul television, which I expect to do when I go back. But I've kept a low profile and basically enjoyed the peace and quiet. Nobody know you're there, and you could just sit down and read the books and go through life quietly.
Now, it seems that the moment you've got back in Trinidad, you're in the news already, and you're back on the job. And give me a feel for how Trinidad has hit you since you've returned.
Well, it's very stressful because people have this tendency to believe that you're beholden to somebody for one reason or another. In fact, I read in the newspaper while I was in New York that government was supposed to have left on a government scholarship, and I would have to return because I have no money and the government didn't give me a scholarship. That's a total lie. I've been applying for scholarships for years. I was never granted any. In fact, this year, I did very well, as far as I know, in applying for a scholarship, which, if granted, would have commenced in September of 1997. Unfortunately, when they were doing the assessment in 1997 early, it was around Carnival time. And after I sang Mr. Panday Need Glasses, I understand that it was printed in the media that Cabinet refused to approve the granting of the scholarship, not only to me, but maybe because of me, they didn't grant it to anybody, so other people lost out as well, which to me is vindictive, petty and stupid, and just plain spiteful, because it has nothing to do with what you can bring to the country. It has to do with a calypso, and I find it very, very strange that big men who run a country can think like that.
Well, I know that you have focused your attention on your education this year, but like any creative person who's involved in the arts, certain things must give you vibes as to what your mind would want to address. Is there any particular theme or topic that has already sort of addressed your attention?
Yes, I'm looking at open government because, you know, if you're attacking people and firing people, open, that is open government, you know, and I also like lies, half-truths, and innuendos, and it seems just to be what Calypsonians, we deal with lies, damn lies, truths, half-truths, and innuendos.
So we can assume that you will be back in time for next year's Carnival?
Yes, I'll be singing despite what people may say. I have been singing political and social commentary for years, no matter which government was in power, and I don't think I should stop now because people may feel differently because Mr. Panday is in power. He would come to the tent and laugh when I would pong Mr. Robinson and Mr. Manning and everybody else. Everybody must take the blows equally. And in fact, it's unfair to say that Calypsonians say things which are libelous, especially me. I'm one of the safest. In fact, I may say things, but you can't take me to court for it. There are other Calypsonians who feel they are safe, and they are not.
They're the ones that...
They are the ones who are actually at risk. But in any event, if the politicians would understand that they must coexist with the Calypsonians in a society such as this, and everybody takes Calypso as what it is, something to inform the people, and when you, at the end of the day, it may not change anything, but at least we all feel like we are part of the process, we don't have a problem.
When you look at the broad gamut of Calypso in 1997, do you think that we are progressing or that things are regressing? I
think we are progressing to some extent. Our problem here is, and I don't want to sound like the politicians, our problem here is the media. And the media still will not focus sufficient attention in Trinidad and Tobago on Calypso and how much Calypso is played on the airwaves. In fact, if I had the power, if I was Prime Minister, one of the first laws I would pass is that there must be at least 60% local music played on the radio stations here. And despite what people feel like Calypso only belongs to one segment of the population, that is not true.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but we want to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to take a recap of Watchman's career up to 1991, late 91, early 92, and then we'll take it from there. Wayne Hade, a policeman by profession and better known in the Calypso world as Watchman, began his professional career by winning the 26th Independence Calypso contest in 1988. His Calypso, Boots and Brains.
We know the leaders go take offense, but we come to make a defense for all them UWI students who Robbie say march without any sense. But since we have been in that institution, we have come to the big conclusion that we really ain't have a thing to gain if we only using we brain. Because the bomb say it have a young lady who get a degree right there in we and a big walk after she leave her that by lying flat on she back. That's a fact. And then they say some fellas with PhDs, if they're not harassing the young ladies, they inviting all of the nice young men to come home and sleep by them. So until them damn lecturers stop behaving like the old slave masters, we want Mr. Robinson to know that we brain tie under we toe. These boots are made for walking, but if they get with vex, these boots will march on teachers who give degrees for some pampala, degrees for some pampala. Every day
His career continued in 1989 with the popular Airborne 1. He was a semi-finalist and was voted the most promising Calypsonian in that year. He also placed second in the Young Kings competition and won an Effete Award for the best 10th Calypso. Here's Watchman with Airborne 1.
Every day I see the airborne man flying over the whole island. And if traffic or weather bad for so, he just tell people where to go. I decide that I ain't going nowhere until he gives the all clear. But the reports that he giving me of late, like a bound to have a long wait. Watchman, calling airborne 1, tell me what is the position?
He put that together with a humorous ditty for better or worse, playing on his police compatriots.
I sure to see some of them Calypsonian lining up to try a thing at my woman. Marriage is a contract of give and take, and as human beings we all make mistakes. But show respect for matrimony, and we won't have our next Adam's tragedy. Cause all men like to play around, but let's get real mad if they get off board. But if the dog just stray, then the cat will play. And women sing as who feel this me, and the street woman like a piece of meat. If you love your life, let us take advice. That I have a gun at home, so please leave my wife alone.
Besides earning a BA in history and law degree at UWI, Watchman has made it a point to pursue his academic career alongside his Calypso exploits. In 1990, he sang No Heroes Left and Positive Vibrations and tied with GB for 5th place in the Young Kings and reached the national finals for the first time, where he placed 7th.
Yes, I remember when Claude Noel won a World Boxing Crown. Yes, I remember he was treated to a massive hero's welcome. He lost his crown and that was disaster. He turned to a life of crime shortly after. Some claimed his hasty descent was because boxers not too intelligent. But a well-schooled politician made a punching bag of a young woman. Sanderson and Claude equally to blame. When I say it, they have no heroes again. And I'm sure now that Flash Gordon resign, the party will buy a mop. He said a mess that blinking Joker leave behind is them have to clean it up. They say the sour face that Gordon had, he run every tourist from Trinidad, but he leave we in the comments because he jump off the boat and take the express.
In 1991, Watchman made a contribution to the independence celebrations. With this selection, We Ain't Arrived As Yet.
The Chinese and Syrians have the money, so they marry to themselves and their family. So it's a good to Sabga and back again. Just know all of them will have the same name. It matters not but how you reach on the beach, but what you contribute to here since you reach. If we could only shake ourselves from the past, it's only then that all of we will arrive at last.
In 1991, he also sang one of his most powerful tunes to date, Attack with Full Force, which assisted in placing him fourth in the national finals.
Some call me a rabble-rouser, others say I'm just a crusader, but people will only call me the friend once I sing nothing about them. So I expect the guardian and mirror to assassinate my character. Mills and Shaw go retaliate, cause them like to kill but they cannot take. And I expect that the opposition might want to invite me to all the functions. Well, after they hear what I have this year, nobody going to invite me anywhere. Boy, hush your mouth and don't say a thing. Manning and the boys might be listening. Well, if the party really kick out Robbie as leader, then Manning should hand over to Erica. And I see them teething old Zandoli. Don't start making sweet eye at the treasury. So I'm not going to jump on any bandwagon and hug up and kiss up like Selvin Ryan. If they feel that they're getting ease up from me, that and Clive Banton girlfriend they'll never see.
With his strong political commentary, it is true to say that Watchman has lived up to his self-imposed title, which he gave himself in 1992 of Leader of the Opposition.
The ruling party is a disaster, but the opposition no better. Manning and Marshall can't find a way, like Pam throw some pea on the Balize. And NJAC is a non-starter. They don't fall down on their own dagger. And you can't rig a election just as easy as a Calypso competition. And if a certain party take over, the leader go pass a law against Douglas. But if you ask him about the VAT, I'm sure he go say, well, I'll drink to that. Boy, hush your mouth and don't say a thing. Panday and the boys might be listening. Well, tell them that John Public want to know if Moonan pay off all them people he owe, and if they make Amar a senator for selling people overpriced motor car. But they go dead in opposition. Moonan can make mountain from no heap of sand. Them jokers they choose causing big protests. They like Morgan Job in a beauty contest. So who vex could vex? Tell the boss the law. But once they maintain that course, then I'm attacking them with full force.
Welcome back live on Calypso Showcase, and in case you've just joined us, our special guest tonight is Wayne Hade, the Watchman, and we just took a recap of his career up to late 91, early 92. Looking back at the early part of your career, what comments do you have on your own performance, and how would you assess yourself?
Well, I've always tried to be consistent. The major problem I had is that people always saw me as brash and crude and without wit. You know, and which really wasn't true. In fact, my songs have a lot of wit in it and a lot of ingenious lines, in which I was proud of. The fact is that as people became more accustomed to my style, people started to see me as becoming mellow and said, you're now singing Calypso, when in fact I'm singing the same thing that I did before and in the same way, but they have become accustomed to the style and they're understanding what I do in it. I've tried to, over the years, improve my singing, improve my stage performance. I've looked at other Calypsonians, I've looked at other artists, and I've tried to
Let's
improve.
delve into that. Who are some of the people that you look at and say, that's a good performer? I would like to pick up a few things from him.
Well, I look at everybody. In fact, every Calypsonian in this country here and other have particular styles and something you could learn from. Whether it's Sparrow, whether it's Chalk Dust, Crocro, Shadow, Rio. I look at everybody, and like if I'm in a tent for a season, at the end of the season I would learn to sing everybody's song, because I would come from the beginning of the tent and stay until the last performer performs and see what they do, because even though you are singing the same type of material, what a fellow like Cardinal will do, or Ember, Kurt Allen, it is different to you, even though you are dealing with the same types of topics. And
what do you do better today than you did at that time?
I don't know, really.
Do you think you're a better singer, for example?
Yes, I think I'm a better singer because I've been practicing, and I always want to try to, be on key and get the correct pitch and tone and those kinds of things. And I would listen to other singers and see how they do it.
And from a compositional point of view, I think people would say that you're always very strong on the lyrical side.
Yeah.
But have you made a conscious effort to spend more time with your melodies?
Yes, that was a criticism of me in the earlys. I mean, in some instances justified. But I've tried over the years to always improve on the melodies. It wouldn't help, Because I think that, especially when it comes to competition, when your time reach, it reach, and there's nothing you could do. I think I've done some of my best materials at shows and didn't win, and that always creates a problem in you. So you say, well, what else can you do? But it is understanding that, look, I've been lucky, very lucky. I think I've done better than most, if not all of the other Calypsonians, given my short span in the art form. And I think that I have to say that's because other people have laid the groundwork for somebody like me. So I can't really be angry about where I've reached. I'm considered one of the superstars of the art form, which to me is amazing, given that 8 years ago I wasn't even known in Calypso.
Let's look at 1993 and 3 selections: Once You're Black, Scotland Yard, and Watch. And a tune that most people would not even associate with you. Yeah,
I wrote that song just to prove that I could write a party song. I could write party songs, I just never do it consistently because people expect certain things of me. That year, there's some people who said I should have sung Watch in the semi-finals.
I'm one of those who honestly believe so.
And I don't know if it would have made a difference in terms of, but maybe now in hindsight, you say maybe I should have done that. The only reason why I think I didn't sing is because the position I drew, which was number 1. When the crowd has not come in as yet, the place is still restless, and you're not comfortable yet on the stage. If I was number 17 or something like that, I think I would have certainly rocked the place.
All right, but before we look at the video clip, I just want to remind you of one thing. Super Blue once pulled a number 1 and he sang 2 party tunes and he reached the finals.
But I Super Blue.
Then maybe you need to look a little bit more at Super Blue. Let's look at a video clip now with Watchman singing 3 of his selections from 1993. Once You're Black, Scotland Yard, and Watch.
Conspiracy from sin slavery to make black people hate their identity. So they train their son, then they train their daughter to make them believe that once they're black they'll suffer. So they bleach their skin and flex their hair, then they cleft their chin and tuck their hair, just to ensure black features disappear. But when they go to America or try to play white up in Canada, they just be vexed too bad when they call them a white nigger. So it's a fact, a fact, a fact. Once you're black, you're black, you're black. It always have a knife that's pressed firmly against your back. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But you don't have to go university. Let those who have eyes to see, let them see. For black people, the world closing in on we. It's getting smaller and smaller till for sure. We disappear just like the dinosaur.
Watchman then teased the crowd with this number he's still composing called Scotland Yard.
And give them a brief to check if we police force have more teeth than police. But a man went in the Queen bedroom. Scotland Yard still cannot say how. Now they guarding the wife of Prince Andrew. A man entering up to now. So I don't care if a prince is pregnant, because I know it can't be for me. But this country breeding double standards that they must check immediately.
Them woman and them, them woman and them. Them woman and them is trouble. Them woman is head, I tell you. Them woman and them, them woman and them.
Oi. Oi. Watch how you're winding up in my face.
Why she have what you want?
Watch how you're teasing me with your waist.
Why she have what you want?
Watch how you're shaking up like a flag.
Why she have what you want?
Watch how I'm trembling now to make her grab. Baby, take warning when you start moving. Don't pass by me whining, cause my blood red close to my skin, but she balling. Doggy, doggy, look at the bony. Watch,
Watch, watch,
doggy, doggy, come for the honey.
watch, watch, watch.
I said, baby, baby, I think that maybe
Watch, watch, watch.
I have a feeling that's how you want me. Touch, touch, touch. Ah! I have a little warning for Mr. Patrick Manning over them wrong signals that he may be sending. I turn on my TV and the man advertising, telling we to come go down the road with him. I know that the country now going through a crisis. We need some good news and we need it fast. But if he should continue going down the precipice, then I think that we're facing an uphill task. He said the country poor, yet his ministers can afford to drive fancy motor cars. How can we go down the road with him? He says a brand new Balize, but the old snake and them still living there. How can we go down the road with him? But if we want real prosperity, watch the partners in the party before they thief out all the money. Mr. Manning, how low? How low? How much further down you want the country to go? Look, we morning calling. How low? You better start reviving. How low? Cause all I want is for my country to grow. The country going down the drain. But why? Well, nobody have a clue. Some try to find someone else to blame, when the reason for the decline right in front of you. I know there are many people who are very patriotic and will put a hand when it comes to reconstruction. But too many of our leaders and the masses called John Public will only put a hand to push we further down in the sand. This is the country where some people kill the MP. The party faithful was so ungrateful, they lucky neck for money. This is the country When that MP was dying slow, the boss man friends got their big contracts and fancy new cars to go. So while Marshall gone to the big castle in the sky, is a royal castle down here that quite undone by. But if we want skullduggery in everything, then things can't get no better. The boss eating fried chicken while police thieving brown sugar. It seems like our values receding. Honor and justice can now be bought. Lawyers don't care if witnesses dying, as long as the man who paid them succeeds in court. I know that every criminal deserves a proper defense, no matter how watertight the case seems to be. But we vote Ramesh and Alam, made breach of them an MP, but now they're much closer to the criminals than to we. This is the country where a bandit was in the jail, and a red policeman with a hacksaw blade went and give the man his own bail. This is the country where the crooksters get interviewed to talk about the drugs that they're going and push and the evil things that they do, while a single priest want to bring down them drug baron. It have 200 more want to change the name of a band. So while we busy fighting this holy war between priest and band leader, the Chaman could strike once more. Amen and hallelujah.
Welcome back live, The Watchman. At the end of the video clip before the break, we featured How Low, a song which gave you the independence crown at late 93. In fact, when I look at your career between 93 and 95, it was pretty good. 94, you were a finalist again with How Low, and I think the other song you sang with How Low was
Do You Want a Watchman?
Do You Want a Watchman? And then 95, you were the Young Kings with the song which we just heard, along with Lara, Prince of Plunder. Let's talk about that period between 93 and 95 and what it did for you.
Well, it was a good period in that I managed to really write some good material and to show people consistent that I could do it consistently, you know, and it was important to making the competitions and performing, you know, everywhere I went, people would say great songs. Of course, there were those who didn't like my songs if they were the ones under attack at that time. But I spread my attack out evenly, and everybody got a play, as it were. 95 was a disappointment to me in that I did 3 songs that year, and one was called The Ladder. And unfortunately, it was dealing with a court case that it was illegal to speak about. So I do it in a way that told the entire story, but people didn't understand what I was talking about until 2 years after, when The Ladder became a public knowledge. And in the competition, I was not allowed to sing Is We to Blame for the Monarch competition because there's some unwritten rule. It's not written anywhere that if you're in the tent, you can sing 5, 6, 7 songs and the judges who are there will judge you and all. But if you sing 2 songs and you go to sing on the unattached, any other song, they will tell you no, which to me was wrong. But it was the rules then, so I obeyed the rules. I went on.
You were in fact singing Lara, Prince of Plunder in the tent.
In the tent, and The Ladder.
And that was going down.
Yeah, they were going. I mean, Lara was fantastic that year. I don't know. I thought that the 2 songs, in any case, would have been enough. But I wasn't singing The Ladder for the competition. It was Is We to Blame.
In fact, you won the Young King singing Is We to Blame and Lara, right?
Yes. But the
you would have expected as a Young King that you would have gone on to at least to the semi-finals.
Well, that year it was unfortunate that the Young King show was held after the selectees for the semi-finals. Had
And
it
you were
been-
not judged on this Vita Blame?
No.
I see.
And that, to me, I had
It was a major disappointment.
strong material to win that year.
Mm.
But again, I rationalized it. I mean, I did come first in the Young King, which is a major competition, and again proved that I can write material which was up to the standard of a national or a world level. And
you know, people see you as a person who is always ponging people, but you know, there are some songs, like I say, is Victor Blame, Lara Prince of Plunder. I remember there were Heroes, and there are certain songs which you have dealt with international themes, or
Once
which
You're
have
Black.
looked at positive. Once You're Black.
Tell Me Something Good.
Tell Me Something Good. And you know, I think people forget that you have also contributed these type of selections. Do you feel that, you know, something needs to be done to highlight this to most people?
Well, there's a problem in this society. People have a 9-day mentality and they forget things very quickly. And it's because there's nothing to reinforce it. Only because of Calypso Showcase, I'm able to see those videos. For example, why can't the TV stations use them for fillers throughout the year rather than only at Carnival time? You have a lot of dead space that you play foreign songs. You have CVN in the morning, play some Calypsos. You have the videos there.
Point well taken. We go now to We People. We open the show with it. Let's listen to a little bit more about it, and we'll talk about it when we come back.
Men go walk hobia and then beg father just to get $1. Yes, back and forth we switch. We don't have money, but go play lottery cause we think we're lucky. Yes, we want to be rich. But some of the rich people you admire, their business is laundering drug money. And when they try to outsmart the mafia, the grave is a cane feeling carone. But if a man could sell cloth and barra on a bike, and 30 years later he gets wealthy, he could build up as many plazas as he likes. That is the progress I want to see. But if today a man broke and hungry, and tomorrow he driving posh motor car, my people may never own a Ferrari, but at least we could get old and retire. So rise up, my people, let the world know you are alive. Let them see that despite all struggle, my people are bound to survive. There are autocrats playing Democrats to control you peewats. Yes, that's your legacy. Talking integration, but to their children it's segregation. Yes, divided unity. So you only go to shows that have your own people. Africans go to Pan, Indians Diwali, Naga. But when the both of you come out your show and you miss your vehicle, well, it's your own people thief your motor car. But if a man could marry a woman, not his race, and both of them could live as one family, and their children play with your children, no disgrace. That is the essence of unity. But if a nightclub refuse me entry, saying gully wogs can mix with these so-called whites, the white boy who killed short to skip the country, cause in local jail every night is gully wog night.
So rise up, my people, to let the world know you are alive. Let them see that despite our struggle, my people are bound to survive. Come, Panday!
He was known as a man of substance, a man with plenty vision. And when he get his glasses, his vision expand. But since they make him prime minister, they went and get an official glasses snatcher. They make him hide the glasses away. Now Panday is the blindest leader today. Cause he can't see that once you bring in casino, men go launder their drug money. And Kwaitong is a Chinese, so he ought to know, cause Chinese always running laundry. Kwaitong say he never took a vow of poverty, but take away all the tax breaks from we, of course. But making sure and leave a rebate for alimony, so now he profit from he divorce. But the people didn't want this kind of nonsense when they went and vote for the UNC. They rather have a drunken old man with some common sense than a sober fool who can't see. Like every time we choosing, we leaders, something is wrong with the fellas. If the man ain't deafy, he brain missing some chambers. One sell Tobago to get power, and next one sell a pusher, he motorcar. We thought that this one like too much booze, but his blasted eyesight this fella lose. Cause he can't see it was wrong to fire Bicessa. She get her 10 days like URP. But people say she was climbing on top your ladder. Then up to now she da BAG. Baka said the tape he have on Ramesh is true. You don't even know they were making plan. The other day you wet your pants because you thought was cool when Baka was in VIP stand. Long ago, when you make them kind of mistake, you used to blame your glasses and say they're bad. But ever since they make you cut back on your intake, you're lacking the spirit of Trinidad. A glass of gin, a glass of ink, a glass of Pacro tea, a glass of spit, a glass of flit, a glass of go cool pee. So before we go down the drain, we'll either have to get some glasses again.
Welcome back. How do you assess your material for 97?
97 was, fun.
Fun for you?
Yeah, it was fun. Because the songs came, spontaneously, and it was very easy this year. Because from the time I saw the newspaper, where the UNC was accusing the media people of showing the Prime Minister as some sort of big drinker by only focusing on him with a glass in his hand. And they had this man whose job it was to snatch glasses from Mr. Panday every time he was in public, so the media wouldn't snap him with a glass in his hand. I said, well, this is nonsense. Everybody knows Mr. Panday drinks. In fact, it's become appreciated and known in the country. And when problems started to happen, people started to say, well, wait, now, let me see what happened. Like this Prime Minister can't see. I said, wait a minute. Since the man cut back on his intake, since he doesn't have his glasses anymore, he's not the same person. He's no longer seeing the problems. So therefore, he needs some glasses again.
Good night, and keep viewing Calypso Showcase.
Every man's a brother, and love thy neighbor, just words on paper. Yes, we pay lip service. We go hug another, but in we corner go cuss him mother. Yes, supreme prejudice. Some Indians and whites will make it their business to hug the resources for their own clan.